Kwame Amin Bafo, a sports analyst, a human, well, and this is something I shouldn't be saying. Of course, HR specialist as well is on with us on the show. Kwame, welcome on to the show. Great day it is because we saw the Black Stars win their game against Mali last night. First of all, what was your assessment of the game you watched yesterday and the influence of, for instance, Coach Otoado on the game yesterday?
Thank you very much, Ben. I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you loud and clear here.
Perfectly. Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon to our viewers and our listeners. It was a great game. Coach Otoado showed a very interesting side of himself. There is one consistent thing that I've seen about Coach Otoado is the clarity of his game plan. Okay. I mean, anytime you watch his games or anytime you watch his team setup, you know exactly what he intends to do. Okay. Now, on the other hand, is whether the game plan will work or not. And that is where you always be fishing out to see if the game plan is going to work. And yesterday, he set out a very, very interesting game plan. Now, we realized that we were going away in an African match. Now, when you are going away in an African match, there are a few things that you know will go against you. The home crowd's support for the other nation, and also the officiating. And most often in African games, the home team usually have some sort of officiating that goes for them and helps them in these games. Now, if you saw the way 3 different decisions went against us yesterday, it clearly gives you an indication of how things went. One, there was a clear indirect free kick that should have gone our way, but the referee did overlook. 2, the goal that we considered, Gideon Mensah was fouled. The referee overlooked that. There was a clear penalty on Mohamed KUDUS, where there was a high boot raised up as against him in that game, and that was also overlooked. And that's the expectation that you have. So Coach Otoado set up in a way that Ghana wouldn't go and concede. Okay. That will go in, and the worst the result we'll get in the game would be a draw. Yeah. So you could see that we're very compact from the back. We closed down the middle channels where the Malians were obviously superior because they had the quality in there. We reduced the wide areas where we felt that they had less quality. We seeded those areas for them, and clearly you could see they did not have enough to do damage from that side. They were not sending in a lot more crosses to cause havoc. Anytime they send in the crosses, we have the men in there to deal with that. What we lacked in the first half was the ability on the ball, the quality that we would have on the ball to be able to progress the ball further and make good use of the ball. Okay. And after we conceded, the second thing that came was a test of our character. It's been a long time since we saw a Ghanaian team show that level of character where you see that we wanted to come out of an adversity to be able to overturn the game, to be able to do something great for us. And we were able to do that very, very well, especially in the second half. So the game plan worked. Everything worked solidly for us. You could see the players, showing a lot more fight, a lot more commitment. That is what you see. You want to see anytime you see a player in the Ghana shirt for the Black Stars.
Let's take a good assessment of the players who played in the game yesterday for Ghana. Can we quickly try and assess individually how they all fared in the game, from Atizigi to the last man who came on? If you can do a fair assessment, how would you rate these players?
All right. So first, Atizigi, he's the one who kept us in the game very early on. In the first 20-30 minutes, he made a couple of saves, 2 very crucial saves. The ball was just going into the net. 2 crucial saves that really helped us in the game, or helped us stay in the game. That's Atizigi. So I'll give Atizigi an 8. Okay. His distribution also good. On our right back, we played a 3-back with 2 wing backs. So let me start with the 3 men that marshaled the defense. Ali Diseidu was very solid as well. Played very well, stuck to the assignments that he was given, trying to close down spaces. He's very good with 1v1 situations, trying not to allow players to overpower him. So he did very well. I'll give him a 6 in that regard. Alexander Jiku showed a lot of class. Anytime Jiku plays for Ghana, he leaves everything on the pitch. And that's the quality that he gives you.
Okay.
Aside the fact that he has quality, he shows the commitment, he shows the love for the badge, for everything that he does for Ghana.
Okay.
And clearly, that stood out. Alexander Jiku, I'll give an 8 for how he did in defense. Mohamed Salisu also did very, very well, playing his part. A lot of people said he was ballooning the ball a lot more times, but it was something that was required because he realized that we were not doing much with the ball in midfield. And when you make mistakes in that regard, what happens is that it leads to a turnover that can affect the team's play and can lead to Mali getting an opportunity to create a chance and score.
That's true.
So all he could do was send the ball in there. And I think he executed his tasks very well. Okay. I'll give him also a 7. Gideon Mensah, a bit jittery for me, should have done better in the ball that we felt was a foul. You should understand the terrain we are in. You don't allow yourself to be bamboozled like that in such situations. And I feel that I'll give Gideon Mensah a 5.5.
Okay.
In midfield, we had Mohamed Kudus and Salis. I'll start with Salis. There's this thing about Ghanaians, right? If you put in consistent poor performance, you get noticed. And when you get noticed, what it leads to is that people begin to point you or put a finger on you, or let me use the word scapegoat for everything that happens. And I don't want Salis to get to that point.
Okay.
Clearly, his form has dipped. He was out-muscled a lot more times in midfield.
Okay.
Showed less quality on the ball. I'll give Salis a 5.
Okay.
He didn't show much with that regard. Thomas Partey showed a lot more class. People would have criticisms of what Thomas Partey does when it comes to the Black Stars. But you could see a lot in the first half. There was a bit more that he could have offered us, but unfortunately, I'm sure he was just, normally in games like that, you get into a rhythm as the game progresses. And as the game progressed, we could see the quality of Thomas Partey. I will give him also a 6.5 for what he did in midfield. Mohamed Kudus, we expected a lot more from him. For him not tracking back, closing down spaces. Normally, when you do that, it affects the game plan. It gives the Malian defense didn't have a lot of pressure on them, especially in the first half, why they were able to progress the ball beyond the midfield. Kudus failed at that task, but also offensively didn't offer a lot more. I'll give Mohamed Kudus a 6.
Okay.
Antoine Semenyo was the only outlet we had.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first half, creating a lot more opportunity spaces for himself. And some of the chances that we came our way, it was through his own ingenuity. You could clearly see someone fighting to create some space for himself. It was the only outlet we had going forward. And for that, I will give him an 8.
Okay.
Nyama scoring that goal, very poor first half, but scoring that goal, I'll definitely give him an 8. He can do better. I'm sure that as this team progresses, the quality will show and the team play will get a lot more better. So that's how I rate the whole team.
Tariq Lamptey.
Tariq Lamptey. How could I have forgotten it? It was superb. I think he's one of those players I'll give an 8.
Okay.
An 8
okay.
for that kind of performance.
Okay.
Running up and down, tracking back. He was one of the few people who could make good use of the ball.
Yeah.
And that's it. For the substitutes, Fatal Isaaku, Jordan Ayew getting the final goal for us. I mean, that's a solid 8 that you will give because that was an all-important goal. I will not forget the pass he gave to Thomas Partey to be able to, thread him through for Thomas Partey who could have finished the game earlier for us.
Absolutely.
But he decided to pick the game by himself to score. Isaaku came with applied pressure, Abdul Mumin, and all of the guys that came on, they were all fantastic. Understood the game plan and worked according to what was expected of them.
So in the analysis of the group and how the dynamics are playing out now, what does this result mean for our qualification for the Mundial?
We've brought ourselves back in the competition. We've brought ourselves back into qualification mode. Now, the group is getting opened. Now, Comoros is on 6 points. Ghana is on 6. Now, Comoros play against Madagascar today. And they are going away. Madagascar already on 3. Should Madagascar win today, then Ghana, Madagascar, Comoros will all be on 6.
Okay.
That is an open group.
Yeah.
Because drawing or losing that game would have been quite devastating for our chances. It would have made the job a lot more difficult.
That's true.
But going away, win our most difficult away game against Mali has given us a huge opportunity to put ourselves back into qualification. And as a Ghanaian, I was extremely happy. I mean, you should have seen the excitement from my end when that ball went in. It has given us an opportunity, to shoot ourselves back into qualification. So the group is wide open. We should pray that Madagascar gets results against Comoros so that Comoros don't tear themselves away from the group. Just keep the group as open as possible so that we win our game against Central African Republic to put ourselves in the 5th position, qualifying for the next stage.
Grateful, as always, Kwame Amin. But for this is where we leave it. Grateful for your time with us on the show today. Big salute and thanks, as always, for your time with us on the game on GH1 TV. Kwame Amin Buffo. He's also, content producer on YouTube, United and Everything Football. You can subscribe and, of course, get content from them. Everything United and Football. That is Kwame Amin Buffo and all the fans who support Man United. Anyway,